Janelle Brown shares her first Thanksgiving without Garrison. After Garrison Brown's unexpected passing in March 2024, his surviving family members understood there would be many difficult firsts without him. Janelle Brown recently celebrated her first Thanksgiving without the company of her loving son. However, the family seemed intent on having a great celebration together. They will feel Garrison's absence forever, but they're still eager to make happy memories with one another. See what Janelle shared about the Thanksgiving holidays with her children. Janelle Brown feels excited to have her children together. Nothing can ever replace Garrison, but Janelle Brown and her surviving children gathered for the holidays. Now that her children are adults, they've moved across the country. Logan and Hunter live in Las Vegas, while Maddie and her family live in North Carolina. And now that Gabe and Savannah are adults, they're likely venturing out more on their own too. Janelle loved having all her children under one roof for a change. "I loved making the pies today," the TLC star shared in an Instagram story, attaching a photo of 5 stunning Thanksgiving pies. "I'm always glad when there is an excuse to cook for the kids." The TLC star's children lent helping hands. Now that Janelle's children are grown, they're capable of helping with the holiday preparations. The reality star revealed several of her children tagged along while shopping for the meal. "Grocery shopping with them definitely looks different these days compared to when they were little," Janelle posted on Instagram, attaching a photo of her oldest children goofing off in a grocery store. Logan and his wife Michelle pose around the full grocery cart, along with Hunter and an expecting Maddie. Janelle's followers felt delighted to see the family having a good time and smiling, especially after all the heartbreak and sorrow this year. Comments included, "Happy Thanksgiving. So happy to see you surrounded by your kids. You are such a good mom it shows. You probably don't have to remind them to not run up on your heels anymore. Have a happy Thanksgiving. Spending it with adult kids and grandbabies is always great. The best bunch you could ask for. Happy Thanksgiving, guys." During the holiday weekend, Janelle didn't publicly touch on Garrison, but her loyal fans understand they all still miss him terribly. But in the meantime, they're glad to see the family make the best of things. The crisp autumn air swirled outside Janelle Brown's cozy Flagstaff home as she placed the last dish on the dining table. The table was a tapestry of Thanksgiving tradition, a golden brown turkey glistening at the center, a bowl of creamy mashed potatoes dusted with parsley, and a dish of candied yams topped with perfectly toasted marshmallows. The warm aroma of sage stuffing mingled with the spiced sweetness of pumpkin pie, creating a fragrant symphony that filled the house. Yet, despite the festive spread, Janelle couldn't ignore the ache in her chest. This Thanksgiving marked the first one she'd spend without her son Garrison at the table. Her other children bustled around the house, trying to infuse the day with laughter and energy. Maddie had flown in with her husband and children, and Gabriel was busy entertaining his nieces with silly impressions. Savannah, now a young woman, had taken it upon herself to orchestrate the playlist, filling the space with mellow acoustic covers of holiday classics. But no amount of activity could fill the void left by Garrison's absence. Janelle had always known that the day would come when her children would forge their own paths. Garrison, with his fiercely independent spirit, had been hinting at it for months. Earlier that year, he had moved out to pursue his dream of opening a custom woodworking shop. It was a venture he'd poured his heart into, and Janelle couldn't have been prouder. Yet, when he called to say he'd be spending Thanksgiving with his girlfriend's family this year, it had hit her harder than she expected. Sitting in her armchair a few nights ago, she had replayed their conversation in her mind. "I promise I'll come by for Christmas, Mom," Garrison had said, his voice full of assurance. "But Claire's family invited me over, and it's important to her. You understand, right?" She had mustered a cheerful reply, not wanting to burden him with her feelings. "Of course, sweetheart. I'll miss you, but I'm so happy you'll be making memories with Claire." But after hanging up, the house had felt too quiet. That was the moment she realized how deeply intertwined her identity had been with being a mother. Even as her kids grew up, she had always been their anchor during the holidays. Now, the tides were shifting. The day unfolded in a blur of activity. Janelle busied herself in the kitchen, kneading dough for the rolls and basting the turkey with practiced precision. As she worked, Maddie joined her, leaning against the counter with a knowing smile. "Mom, you're doing that thing again," Maddie said gently. "What thing?" Janelle asked, not looking up. "The thing where you pretend you're fine when you're not." Janelle froze, the wooden spoon in her hand mid-stir. Maddie had always been perceptive, a trait that sometimes caught her off guard. "I'm just focused on making everything perfect," Janelle deflected. Maddie stepped closer, placing a hand on her mom's shoulder. "You don't have to be perfect, Mom. We're all here for you. And it's okay to miss Garrison. I miss him too." Janelle's eyes filled with tears she hadn't realized she was holding back. "It's just different without him," she admitted. "I know he's happy and I'm so proud of him, but there's this emptiness I can't shake." Maddie pulled her into a hug, whispering, "It's okay to feel that way. We all feel it in our own way. But today is about celebrating what we have, and Garrison's happiness is part of that." As the afternoon sun dipped lower in the sky, the family gathered around the table. Janelle took her place at the head, her heart swelling with gratitude for the loved ones who were present. "Before we dig in, I'd like to say a few words," she began, her voice steady but tinged with emotion. "This year has been one of change for our family. We've faced challenges, but we've also seen incredible growth. I'm so thankful for each of you and the love we share. And even though Garrison isn't with us today, I know he's with us in spirit. He's off chasing his dreams, and that's something worth celebrating." The table fell silent, each person reflecting on her words. Then Gabriel, ever the comedian, broke the solemnity with a mock tearful tone. "Let's not forget that Garrison also took the best cranberry sauce recipe with him. Traitor." Laughter erupted, and just like that, the mood lifted. Later that evening, as the dishes were cleared and the younger kids played board games in the living room, Janelle found a quiet moment to herself. She sat on the back porch, a mug of hot cider warming her hands. The stars above twinkled in the cold night sky, and the faint hum of laughter from inside reminded her that even in moments of longing, there was so much to be thankful for. Her phone buzzed, breaking her reverie. It was a video call from Garrison. "Happy Thanksgiving, Mom," he greeted, his face lighting up the screen. Beside him, Claire waved enthusiastically. "Happy Thanksgiving, sweetheart," Janelle said, her smile genuine for the first time that day. "How's it going over there?" "It's great. Claire's mom makes this wild stuffing with chestnuts and apples. It's different, but not bad." Janelle chuckled, the sound easing the tightness in her chest. "Different can be good," she said, her words carrying a deeper meaning. They talked for a while, catching up on everything from Garrison's woodworking projects to the antics of Claire's family. When the call ended, Janelle felt lighter. That night, as she crawled into bed, Janelle reflected on the day. Yes, it had been her first Thanksgiving without Garrison at the table, but it hadn't been without him entirely. He was out in the world, thriving and loved, and that was something to be profoundly grateful for. Change was never easy, but it was part of life's tapestry, weaving new patterns that could be just as beautiful as the old ones. Janelle vowed to embrace it, one step at a time. As she drifted off to sleep, a sense of peace settled over her. Thanksgiving, she realized, wasn't about who was physically present at the table, it was about the love that connected them, no matter where they were. 4-0